If you're over 40, get your candy ass out of the room. It's Piledriver, the Rock Wrestling Radio Show.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Well, it's the big show. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Goldberg and this crowd is on their feet.
1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H.
This is Razz, and we're coming to you from the entertainment wrestling capital of the world in the heart of Times Square, New York City. The only city where tables, ladders, and chairs are used to stop a purse snatcher. And with me, the only wrestler I know that carries a purse, Kodiak Bear.
Razz, keep talking and I'll be hitting you with my purse. That's right, it's the Kodiak Bear. 351 pounds and... insert your own joke. I couldn't think of anything this week. On this week's Piledriver, Razz gets into the ring with the one, the only, the game, WWF superstar Triple H.
One of the things that troubled me was that entire situation with the New York trade show with Goldberg. What are your feelings about that now?
I thought he was goofing around, though. I thought he was like, hey, you piece of crap. And then, you know, when I looked up and I saw him and I kind of laughed and waved at him. And then I realized he's serious. You know, he's standing 30 feet from me yelling at me, cursing. We're in an auditorium with, it's all business people at a trade convention, right. You know. And he just made himself look like a complete Nimrod.
You still got time to enter our WWF Unforgiven contest, where one lucky jabroni wins a year's worth of WWF pay-per-views for free, courtesy of WWF's Unforgiven on pay-per-view September 24th. So are we that damn good? Well, the game thinks so. So get your sledgehammers ready, and let's start this week's Triple H edition of Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ECW. It's WCW, World Championship Wrestling, and this is the one and only
Piledriver.
Hey, Freak, what tunage do you have for us this week?
Well, we got the latest from Fuel, Deftones, and Primus with Ozzy. Cole takes on Full Devil Jacket in the Steel Cage match. Fresh meat from American Pearl. And we go old school with the Scorpions! Plus much more.
Kodiak, who gives us our hardcore tune-up?
WWF's lean, mean fighting machine and, ladies man, Val Venus. Al King of the Rumors, Otis Brawl from the Speculum, is at a beef jerky summit trying to get the spices just right. And we'll try to get him to a payphone so he can give us the latest rumors in the world of wrestling.
And as usual, Al Isaacs over at ScoopsWrestling.com tells us what it's like over at the WWF, WCW, and ECW. Now it's time for your favorite piece of ass, our girl Candy.
I've trained you well, Razz. When will the madness ever end? Will the Godfather ever come back? And will he still be pimpin'? I've got some rumors. I'll also give you the status report on a bunch of WCW ladies and what WWF hottie was spotted singing the national anthem at a baseball game. What WWF superstar got married to a former diva? Well, I'll let you know all this and more on Candy's Corner. Speaking of marriage, hey Kodiak, didn't you and your left hand tie the knot?
Candy, I could have both my hands tied behind my back, and I would still kick your cottage cheese ass.
Oh, that's wrong.
Candy has a nice ass.
Obviously, Freak is the wise one here. Number 1, Kodiak, you will never see my ass. Number 2, speaking of cottage cheese, you ought to think about eating some, you fat tub of crap, you spare tire freaking big fat animal beast.
Candy.
What?
Do me a favor, will you? Put your head in an oven and turn on the gas.
Inhaling oven fumes is better than inhaling your stench.
As always, let's ring the bell and let the mayhem begin.
Faster than a lawsuit from Hulk Hogan. Here's Head PE falling down the countdown.
Hey, what's up, punks? This is Wes with Head PE, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show, baby.
Bone Crusher number 5. Piledriver. The WWF Report with Al Isaacs.
Talking World Wrestling Federation, Triple H continues to impress as one of the top men in the WWF. By the time you hear this, he could very well be a fan favorite through no fault of his own. He still hates The Rock, he still resorts to using a sledgehammer, but with his love life in disarray, thanks to Kurt Angle, fans are relating to the broken-hearted champ on a level they never did before. If the rumored Unforgiven main event of Helmsley vs. Angle does in fact take place, I'd say it's a safe bet that the game will become one of the WWF's biggest fan favorites, right at the top of the roster. From ScoopsWrestling.com, This is Al Isaacs.
Let's crack some skulls. It's Steel Cage time.
This week's challenger, hailing from Jacksonville, Florida, coming in at 587 pounds. It's Cold with Just Got Wicked.
This week's contender.
Cold, our contender. Our current champion hailing from Jackson, Tennessee, coming in at 645 pounds. It's Full Devil Jacket with Where Did You Go?
Now, the reigning world champion, Piledriver.
Who's pulling a junkyard dog? Who's staying to fight next week?
Email us at piledriver@mji.com. That's the contender, Cold, or our current champ, Full Devil Jacket. So if you don't want Kodiak to challenge you to a stinky face match, you better email us now.
At piledriver@mji.com. Also, check out our new, improved Piledriver website. Piledriver Rocks, that's with 2 R's.com. We've got polls. I've got my own column, Kodiak's column. Otis dispenses his dirt on the speculum. That's Piledriver Rocks with 2 R's.com.
He said polls.
It's time for Candy's Corner.
So, when and will The Godfather ever return? It seems the WWF wants to get some of the heat off of them from the PTC and other media watchdogs. Look for The Godfather to return in the next few months. He won't be pimping this time. He'll be known as a ladies' man, and as I reported here a few months back, he will refer to the hoes as ladies. Apparently, pimping ain't easy. And will the Right to Censor be picking up its first female recruit? Possibly. I've got word that Karen Mower, formerly Stephanie McMahon's fitness trainer, or Mona, might join the group and then scold all you guys out there who want to see them without their clothes. Freak, I think you're their #1 target. So who got married? Well, we all know it's a matter of days before the Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin and Deborah tie the knot. But Hardcore Holly and Kathy Dingman recently did. You remember Kathy. She played Bibi the EMT that was tossed through a table by the Dudley Boys. Well, congrats to both of the newlywed couples. Next hour, I'll give you a roll call of what WCW hotties got the boot and what WWF hottie was singing the national anthem and where. Until next hour, this is Candy, and you're in my corner now.
After our intermission, I step into the ring with WWF superstar Triple H.
Because I am that damn good.
Yes, he is.
We've also got ass-kicking tunes from Papa Roach and Static X.
So if you move, I'll throw your ass on a spit and roast you like a pig. You know, all of a sudden, I'm real hungry.
This is the game, Triple H. I get in the ring this week on Piledriver.
The Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
I'm Razz and holding Pat at number 4.
Wait, did you just say you're holding Pat Patterson on all 4s?
No, idiot. It's an expression. Papa Roach with Last Resort.
Bone Crusher at number 4.
Cut my life into pieces.
Piledriver.
Razz goes one-on-one with the game, WWF's Triple H. Hey, Razz, is he that damn good?
You bet your fat ass he is.
Let's get in the ring with Razz.
No one has dominated as a heel or has impacted sports entertainment the last few years than the man on our telephone right now, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H.
How you doing, man?
How are you, sir?
I'm very good.
I want to talk about a couple of things. Are you really that damn good?
I believe that I am. Yeah, I think that if you're in our business and you don't think you're that damn good, and then you shouldn't be in this business, because this is all about rising to the occasion and being the best, and getting in that ring and trying to, no matter what, steal that show. And if you don't think that you're that good that you can steal that show every night, then you need to go and do something else for a living, because then everybody's going to mow you right over.
Since 1995 and then 1999, which was the time a lot of people will mark as the time you turned heel, how does it feel to be a superstar and at the same time being what could be the most hated man in sports entertainment?
It's great. I love that side of it. You know what I mean? It's almost an impossibility to do now, but if I could stay the most hated man in this business forever, I would do it. I love that. I've never been big on, getting the fans to chant for me or anything like that. So to me is I wrestle the way I wrestle. And if they, sometimes they do cheer for it, depending on who I'm with, and other times they hate it. And that's cool with me, whatever they want to do. As long as they respect what I do, and I think that's where I'm at now in the business is people respect what I do. They might hate me, but they look at what I do and they go, wow, boy, he really is, he's damn good. And if I spend my $30 or whatever to buy a pay-per-view and Triple H is the headline on there, I'm getting every penny's worth.
There is some rumor that you're going to go face.
Well, rumors are rumors, You never, just when you think you know where Triple H is going, don't you worry, I got another ace up my sleeve.
Now, let's talk a little bit about DX. You think you'll ever reunite once Billy Gunn gets back off of his
Well, you never say never. You know what I mean? People ask me all the time, you think Shawn will ever come back? Or, you think you'll ever wrestle Shawn? Or you think you'll ever team up with Shawn again? Never say never. I mean, it's... you never know in this business. For right now, I feel like DX has kind of run its course. The one thing that all of us agree on in DX is that we don't want to be cheap versions of like the Four Horsemen did. You know what I mean? And bring Paul Roma in, and you know what I mean, or do something else where people go, that's not the Four Horsemen, and or a bunch of old guys trying to hang on to something that was over 10 years ago. If it's run its course and it never happens again, we changed the business, man. We did. You know what I mean? We were pioneers. We changed the business, and we did all the crazy stuff, and that's cool, and I'll always be proud of that. If it never happens again, that's cool. If it does, I'll look forward to that too.
Is there a reunion possible with Chyna in the future? I mean, she's had such a push the last couple of months.
Yeah, again, never say never. You know what I mean? With our business right now, stuff changes and happens so fast that you think you know where you're going on Monday, and by Thursday we're in a different direction. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things you never want to say no, that won't happen, because it could. Again, I think that was something. What we did, the stuff that Chyna and I did for a long time was great stuff. But for both of us, it kind of ran its course a little bit, and for us both to grow as performers, we needed to be separated from a television standpoint, and to do our own thing. It's helped her, and it's been good for me too. Now, whether we would ever get back together and do a big, huge deal, that certainly could happen down the line. You never know,
Please tell me you could bench more than she can.
You know what? I don't bench anymore. Probably can. At some point in time, there was probably a very close race going on there. I remember the first time I trained with her, and I had just come off the road, and we went to the gym and trained, and I was like, geez, she was benching so heavy. I was like thinking, God, boy, I hope I can do as much as she can. In a minute, she was about to go way above me. I think I did like one more rep than her, only because I had to.
Yeah, that would be different.
Yeah.
Pile Driver.
Now from the Beef Jerky Convention, making some serious jerky, here's Otis with the Wrestling Dirt.
Oh, you know what I just imagined him doing? Jerking his beef. That's what I was going to say that.
Did you record that?
The Speculum with Otis Brawl.
Ding dong, damn it, I'm back. Russo has been given notice that he has to shave between $12 and $20 million from the roster between now and January, when AOL is scheduled to take over. This means even more firings, even more buyouts, and even less contract renewals. Another way in which they've decided to save money is by taping Thunder on Mondays immediately following Nitro. With attendance way down, you got to wonder who, other than the hardest of hardcore fans, is going to want to stick around for 4 hours on a Monday night. The plan is to start Nitro tapings at 7 p.m., run it on a 1-hour tape delay. Welcome to Monday Nitro, dead on TNT. And then following Nitro, 2 more hours of Thunder. Apparently, they're going to just run the matches and edit the interviews and commercials in during post-production, which should run smooth as an Idaho potato, especially since cuts are expected in the production crew sooner rather than later. This also means less for the wrestlers, because many are paid per show, with house shows almost extinct, and Worldwide soon to be a wrap-up only show with no more first-run matches. This leaves 5 shows a month. Do the math. The only one making any money off WCW this year will be Hulk Hogan, who will reportedly pull in $4 million even if he never steps in the ring again. Shoo-wee. The real losers in all of this are the wrestlers. Inevitably, pay scale will go down considerably, because without any viable competition, there's no incentive for big contracts. They are at the mercy of Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson. All seems a little predictable, but it looks like we're on our way to a DX versus the corporation storyline. Stronger and Dirt Pete Moss reports that we're going to see Kurt Angle hook up with Stephanie and join Shane's new posse. This will leave Triple H to get back with Chyna and reform DX as a face unit to take on the original powers that be. Stone Cold, we need you now. All right, I'll be back next hour. More speculum.
Hi, this is Wayne from Static X, and you're listening to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Piledriver.
After our next intermission, we find out what band jacks up WWF's Val Venus. Triple H talks about his future in movies, Rock's $800 shirts, and the infamous Iron Man match. Plus, you still got time to win a year's worth of WWF pay-per-views for free. We'll tell you how.
It's true. It's your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Touch that dial and you'll break your hands. Piledriver will be right back. We're back with more Piledriver.
This is Razz, and to all you goat herders who listen to Piledriver on the Rock Station 92.7 in Springfield, Illinois, and Rock 106 in Peoria, Illinois, go herd some goats, you dumbasses.
They herd goats in Illinois?
No, they marry them.
But if you listen to Rock 106 and 92.7, you smell like you herd goats.
Damn tootin'!
Kodiak's Wrestling Dictionary.
All right, you steaming pile heap of rhino droppings, it's time for you to learn. Here's some wrestling terminology and their definitions. Bob Myers, who listens to us in Philadelphia on WMMR, sent me an email which read, I read The Rock's book, and I read how he told the guy right before he went out to wrestle what his name was. Well, my question is, he called this position a name. I can't remember what the name was. Could you find out what this position is? Thanks. Well, to be honest, Bob, I have no idea what you're talking about. First, you can't write a letter. Second of all, I didn't read The Rock's book, so I truly can't answer your question. However, one of two positions wrestlers work is either babyface, which is the good guy, or heel, which is the bad guy. I'm asking our Piledriver listeners out there, if anyone out there knows what Bob is asking, please email me, and maybe I'll better clarify the answer. Thanks, Bob, for your question. If you have a wrestling question you'd like answered, such as a definition of a wrestling term, or if you'd like to know the whereabouts of a past wrestler, email me, and maybe I'll use it on the air. Send it to Kodiak Bear at Kodiak Bear CC. And if I use it, you'll receive a free kick-ass Piledriver t-shirt.
This is Val Venus from the World Wrestling Federation, and this week's hardcore tune-up is Rage Against the Machine.
Hardcore tune-up of the week. Piledriver.
Rage, our hardcore tune-up from WWF's Val Venus.
The WCW Report with Al Isaacs.
Talking WCW, my hat is off to Kevin Nash, who's turning out to be a far better company man than I gave him credit for. Unlike some other superstars, who I won't name here, under the WCW banner, you rarely hear Big Sexy complain about the role that he is given. Face, heel, doesn't matter to Big Kev. And as of late, well, it generally changes on a dime. One week is a hero, the next week he's a heel, with little or no logic or reasoning. Leave it to Nash to fill in the blanks with his most recent move, his most recent unprovoked villainous turn. He just said that the only reason he'd been a good guy in the first place was to sell merchandise. And now that he's out of merchandise, the real Kevin Nash is back. He's a heel, and he's got himself a belt. Bravo, Big Sexy. From ScoopsWrestling.com, this is Al Isaacs.
It's that time again when you urchins crawl out from under whatever rock you're living in and call us and pick your Body Slam Song of the Week.
Urchins? I was thinking barnacles. Well, if we pick your slimy ass to be the Body Slam Song of the Week, as always, you'll get a free kick-ass Piledriver t-shirt. Just call us toll-free 1-877-792-SLAM.
That's 1-877-792-SLAM. It's a free call now.
Hey, you're on the air.
This is Michael from Kentucky. My Body Slam Song of the Week is F you, cat raspberry f***ing dickhead.
F you? I don't know that one. Hey, Raspberry, do you know it?
Well, don't ever call me Raspberry. Hey, Mike or Chuck or whatever the f*** your name is, I'll stomp a hole in you, you prick. Jerk off, horse breeding, wildcat bastard.
Well, raspberries do sound like a breakfast cereal.
Son of a...
Hey, Ma, can you please pass me the effing raspberries?
Shut the up now. All right, leave me alone with this Mike. What do you got to say? What are you looking at?
Nothing much, Dingleberry. All right, next caller.
This is Spencer from Newton, New Hampshire. I listen to Piledriver on 107.3 WAAF in Boston. My Body Slam song of the week is Metallica's Enter Sandman, because that song is the greatest. And it also is the theme song to probably one of the greatest wrestlers, the most hardcore wrestler of all time, the Sandman from ECW. And Kodiak, get a life. And Stacker 2 works for you, Kodiak. I think you should be the Stacker 2 spokesmodel and put me on the radio.
There's a guy with some brains.
Yeah, speaking about Stacker 2, your mother stacks 2 to 3 and 4 guys every night.
Piledriver.
Metallica, our Body Slam Song of the Week.
Raspberry Razz and the game WWF superstar Triple H are still pedigreeing each other.
Let's get in the ring.
Now, let me ask you about this push that you've had the last couple of years, and you've been on top of your game. Do you think other things will advance for your career? I mean, sports entertainment has become so popular, and movies and TV offshoot for so many people. Do you see yourself going that way?
You know, I have mixed feelings about that because on one hand, I you know, hell, if somebody comes to me with a movie deal or something like that, I would love the challenge of trying to do it. When I've done TV shows or things, I've enjoyed them. But my first passion and my first love is this business. And I, unlike some of the guys, and this is not a knock on anybody, but I like the other side of the business too. I like that back side of the business. I like the storylines. I like the creative. I like the production aspect. I like the direction. I like all that stuff. A lot of guys don't like that. They like being in the ring. That's it. They don't want to deal with any of the other stuff.
You sound like you're angling for Mick Foley's job there.
Yeah, I could be, you know. But it's something for me that, you know, like if the movie things or whatever didn't happen, I wouldn't be upset about it because I'm still extremely passionate about this business. Some guys get to in this business and they get to the top, and then so it's like they get to the top of this and they're looking for that next challenge, so they're thinking, oh, I wish I could get in the movies. You know, I wish I could get in the movies, stop having to take bumps. I like taking bumps, and I love this business. I think even if, you know, if I went and made movies or went and made a movie and, you know, had this huge movie career, I would still stay involved in this business because it's, I just love it. You know what I mean? I really do. I can't get enough of it.
Man, The Rock is wearing them $1,500 shirts. I mean, you must, like, look at that and go,
I saw
some pretty good money on that.
I saw a little thing on Extra on Rock on TV, and for a guy that wears a $1,500 shirts, I didn't know you could buy them from an 18-year-old pimply-faced kid at a department store in the mall.
Was The Rock one of your toughest matches ever with that Iron Man match?
You know what? It was one of my most challenging matches ever. Because in this day and age, people's attention spans are so short. And, you know, we've conditioned the fans to Raw and to SmackDown, to it's crash television. You know, the matches on TV are 5 minutes. You know, they're 4 minutes or 6 minutes. It's very quick. The action is furious, fast, and it's over with. And there's run-ins, and there's all these different things. And you know, there was a lot of doubt from a lot of people. The old-timers all say, you know, oh, the guys today can't wrestle and they can't work. They couldn't go 60 minutes if they had to. You know, we did it all the time. And then your people from today said, I don't think the fans want to see somebody go 60 minutes. It's something that it's going to be too long, and people will get bored and they'll be tired of it and they won't want to see it anymore. It was one of my proudest matches because it was such a challenge, and I feel that Rock and I both went out there for 60 minutes. I think that probably about the 50-minute mark, people started looking at their watches going, holy cow, 50 minutes has gone by. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think it was something where they went, 30 minutes in, they were going, all right already, come on.
Shawn Michaels would claim that he was the best hour-long wrestler ever.
Well, I mean, that's subjective. I mean, I'm sure Shawn feels that his matches are great, and I'm sure I feel my matches are great, and I'm sure Rock thinks all his matches are great. You know what I mean? That's subjective. Is a different style, a different time. Shawn had a great hour-long match with Bret Hart, and I feel like I had a great hour-long match with The Rock. Whose is better? That's not for me to decide, or for Shawn to decide.
The fans will decide that.
Yeah, fans can say who's they like better. And quite frankly, I don't care. As long as if I had mine and people were entertained by it and they felt like they get their money's worth and it made them think, boy, those guys are good and I would pay to see them again, I accomplished everything I want to accomplish.
After short intermission, we're still kicking ass with WWF superstar Triple H as he tells us who his wrestling hero is and what really went down with WCW's Goldberg at the New York City Licensing Convention.
Al Isaacs from ScoopsWrestling.com tells us to deal with the ECW.
Otis is still making jerky and gives more wrestling dirt, and Candy has more chicks.
Plus music from the Deftones, and you still have time to win a year's worth of WWF pay-per-views for free. We'll tell you how.
Hey, Razz?
Yep.
Phone call.
Hello?
You, cat raspberry f***ing dickhead.
Hey, this is Scotty Too Hottie from the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Don't move your candy ass. Piledriver returns.
Hey, Rock, we can smell what you're cooking.
And it smells like Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Hey, this is Razz. Grab some midgets. Let's start hour number 2 of Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show, the only radio show officially sanctioned by the state of Kentucky to kick your ass.
Midgets chewy. This hour, Razz is still in the ring with WWF superstar Triple H, and he tells us what really went down with Goldberg in New York City.
In a few minutes, we'll give you Latino Heat wannabes all the info on how you can win a year's worth of WWF pay-per-views. Just imagine you and your friends in your trailer park, eating ding-dongs, ho-hos, and pig's feet, watching WWF pay-per-views for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, does it? The grand prize is courtesy of WWF's Unforgiven on pay-per-view September 24th.
Let's get back to the countdown. Back after a few weeks working some indie matches, here's the Deftones.
This is Chi from Deftones, and we're about to stuff your ears full of our new single. So let's kick it to the sound of Change in the House of Flies on Piledriver.
Bone Crusher, number 3. Bone Crusher, number 3. Bone Crusher, number 3. Piledriver. The ECW report with Al Isaacs.
Talking ECW this week. For a change, we thought we'd try something a little bit different here in Radioland. This week's report will be done completely in mime, in the tradition of moment shots. Hope you enjoyed that. From ScoopsWrestling.com, this is Al Isaacs.
Thanks, Al, for that update. And hold on. What? Oh, all right. Sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I just got this in. Razz, telephone for you. It's the president of MJI.
Really?
Yep.
Kodiak, you better not be f***ing with me.
I ain't, Razz. I'm telling you. He's on the line.
Hello?
You, cat raspberry f***ing dickhead.
Thanks, boss.
Let's get in the ring with Razz.
Who's your wrestling hero?
Growing up, I was, of course, a huge fan of the business, and then my idol as far as wrestling goes was Flair. I thought that he was just the best because of his ability to have great matches with anybody. And if there's anybody that I would aspire to perform, I don't want to say to have that same style or anything like that, but if there was somebody that I would aspire to have that work ethic or that ability, it would be Flair, because he went out with, it didn't matter if it was Jack Briscoe, Harley Race, Steamboat, Sting, Luger, Brody. It didn't matter. He went out there and he had classics with all those guys. And not many guys could do that. And I like to feel that, or I like to think that hopefully that I'm trying to kind of feel that same thing. I can go 60 with The Rock. I can do a street fight with Cactus. Hell in a Cell with Cactus. I can wrestle Undertaker. I can wrestle, Austin. I can do all these different things with all these different style of guys and have great matches with them all. And that's my goal, is to be that.
One of the things that troubled me was that entire situation with the New York trade show with Goldberg. What are your feelings about that now?
It was weird at the time. I didn't know what the deal with it was. When I first heard his voice and I looked up and I saw Goldberg, I thought it was just one of the, just one of the boys, one of the wrestlers saying, hey, and he was yelling, and I thought he was goofing. I thought he was goofing around, though. I thought he was like, hey, you piece of crap. And then, when I looked up and I saw him and I kind of laughed and waved at him, and then I realized, he's serious, but he's standing 30 feet from me, yelling at me, cursing. We're in an auditorium with, it's all business people at a trade convention,
right.
And he just made himself look like a complete nimrod. I'm sure he realized that after. I don't really know. I've not talked to Bill, or I've only met him one time, and I've heard that he read something on the internet and he was upset about it or whatever. But to me, and it's not a knock, but I mean, to me, if Bill Goldberg heard something I said on the internet, one, he needs to realize a lot of things about our business, and he needs to get thicker skin.
Yeah.
Two, if you got a problem with me, walk right up to me, tap me on the shoulder, say, "Can I speak to you for a second in private?" Pull me in the corner and say, "Hey, did you say this? Because I got a problem with it if you did." Talk to me like a man. That's all. You don't got to yell at me from 30 feet across the room and curse and, it looked very Bush League.
Bret Hart told me that Goldberg was a bit careless as far as it being in the ring and being out of the ring, and he's a very raw soul, if you will. And somebody needs to take him aside, like someone, like Flair or Hogan, and just say to him, "Look, this isn't going the right way for you."
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I'm not around them. I just hear things, and for me to make a judgment on somebody by what I hear, it's hard to say. I've heard the same things. I don't know Bill. I've never wrestled Bill. For me to say he's careless in the ring, I don't know. He kicked Bret and got a concussion. That could have been an accident. Things happen. I really don't know. For me to make that judgment would be difficult to say. I hear how he does business in the back from people and things like that, and people will say that he's, for a guy that's very new and he has this huge ego. I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he's just got a bad rap. Who knows? But, sometime down the line, maybe we'll work together and I'll find out firsthand. But up until that time, it's hard for me to say,
We wrap it up with WWF superstar Triple H later in the show.
All right, get those Slim Jims out of your mouth. Instead of the bite back question of the week, we're giving you goobers one more chance to win a year's worth of WWF pay-per-view for free. Freak, tell them how.
What we want you to do is cut your own promo. You got 30 seconds to act, sound, and be your own wrestler. You can't imitate a WWF star, but you can use their lines. Razz, give us some lines that kids might use.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking. How about this one? This is a great radio show with the likes never ever to be seen again. I am that good. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin said so.
Here's one.
You, cat of raspberry dickhead.
Who is that guy?
I love Michael. I think he's going to be the new host.
Kick his ass!
Michael's going to be a superstar in his high school. Remember, if it's over 30 seconds, we won't use it. If you boneheads call us 89 times, you'll be disqualified. So practice before you call. 1-877-792-SLAM.
The top 9 runners-up will receive a WWF Unforgiven prize pack worth over $65. The winner is getting free WWF pay-per-views for a whole year. Mom and Dad will be proud. So call us at 1-877-792-SLAM and give us your best promo. And tune in next week as we play them back just for you.
All prizes courtesy of WWF's Unforgiven on pay-per-view, September 24th. Call your local cable company.
Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. FU of the Week.
My FU this week goes to the accountant who decided to cancel the weekly Thunder taping. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that the WCW is in danger, but it's not dead. By combining Nitro and Thunder on the same night in the same arena, this will tax your already loyal fans. You're going to burn out your core fans who are already giving you their undying support. With ECW's TV contract up in the air as of today, why limit yourselves? Find another way to cut costs. Take a Greyhound for $49 across the country instead of flying. Eat less. I don't care. Just don't punish the fans. So if you're an accountant, F you.
Yeah.
After intermission, we go old school with the Scorpions, and I wrap up my match with WWF superstar, The Game, Triple H.
This is Dean Malenko from the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Don't even think about switching the station, you piles of monkey crap. Piledriver will be right back. You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Engage.
Hey, it's Razz. Let's rewind with some Scorpions.
Hi, this is Klaus Meine.
Udo Schenker.
Matthias Jabs.
From the Scorpions.
And you're getting your ass kicked on Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Old school powerbomb. Old school powerbomb. Old school powerbomb. Old school powerbomb. Piledriver,
Scorpions are old school power bomb.
Jabroni of the week. Jabroni of the week.
This is Danny Gazelle. I listen to Piledriver 104.9 WXRX. I'm from Sherwin, Illinois. And Kodiak, shut up, you smelly bastard.
Kodiak, Vince McMahon's on the line.
Hello?
Listen, Kodiak, this is Bruce again. Listen, why don't you return my call? And who is that guy on the other line named Razz? If you want another night with me, then I suggest you call me back. Okay, you know the number, all right? You little jerk. Why don't you call me back one-nighter?
Brucey! Tell your boyfriend to stop calling the show.
Look, Bruce, you human habit trail. Go back to that hairdressing salon where you belong.
That's not nice to talk to Bruce.
Man, why'd you give this number, Kodiak?
Because my other phone's being tapped.
So is your ass.
Let's get in the ring.
Do you need a vacation right now or what?
I always need a vacation. The unfortunate thing is we don't get vacations. We can, you can take some time off if you need it. But I look at it like this. I love what I do, and I'm never really having more fun a lot of times than when I am in the ring. And this business is short-lived. When you look at the large scheme of things and you look at a guy like a Flair or a Hogan, and they've had 20 years in the business, when you look at it, those guys have had huge, longer than average careers, and they were 20 years at best. That's not that long, and I want to enjoy it, and I want to have the time while it's there. It's not going to last for forever, and I just, if I felt like physically I was falling apart, I would take the time, but luckily, knock on wood, I've been lucky enough to have good health and not have serious injuries. I've had some close stuff, but nothing serious, and if I keep dodging that injury bullet and things like that, hopefully I can stay out there. And if I need to, I'll take some time, but, right now I don't feel like I necessarily need it.
You're doing all right in them commercials, man.
It's doing okay, yeah. Not bad, yeah.
Do you actually use that product, and how do you feel physically as a bodybuilder? Do you feel like you can go further there? Because I know you're very serious about that.
Yeah, you know what? The thing to me is, have I used Medicuts? Yeah, it's a pretty good product. I mean, all those fat burners are pretty good, you know what I mean? Things like that. For us, as far as the bodybuilding thing goes, it's funny, like I often, I enjoy training too, very much so. I'm very much into my diet and training and all that stuff. And if I could have one thing that I could do to make things easier on me, it would be to be able to eat regularly, sleep regularly, and train on a regular schedule, you know what I mean? And that's the most difficult thing for me because we're on the road so much. And it's very hard to stay in the shape that we're all in. If I could have a month or two off and just stay home and eat every couple hours, eat and train and sleep and all that stuff, I'd like to see what I could do physically because I've been training since I was 14. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of time in there and stuff. And I'm thrilled with how I feel and all that stuff. But you always want that challenge.
Man, you rock. I heard you were such a great guy from everybody across wrestling, and I'm glad to see that that's true.
Well, cool, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
Hang in there, man.
All right, you too.
Radio's most kick-ass show. It's true. It's true. Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Okay, here comes Candy 2.
It's time for Candy's Corner.
So what WWF diva was singing the national anthem at a Chicago Cubs game in Wrigley Field? Well, it was none other than WWF ring announcer Lillian Garcia. Lillian does have the experience. I mean, after all, she does sing the national anthem before WWF events. Well, let's do a WCW women's roll call. We know Mona and Kimberly are gone. Who's next? Sorry, Goldberg. Asia, the Demon's sidekick and his real-life fiancé, has been let go. No word on her future. Symphony, a.k.a. Ryan Shamrock, has been let go. And yes, I'm sorry to report this one, Razz. Heidi the heifer that has been following Mike Awesome the past month has been let go, too. Razz, maybe you can hire her. Was that really Goldberg's girlfriend Big Papa Pump was manhandling on Nitro? According to my sources, it was not. They hired an actress. Announcer, roll it.
This week's piece of ass.
My piece of ass this week is the Cat. Lately, she's been involved in some matches that feature Terry. The two of them wrestling together beats anything I've seen on the Spice Channel in a while. The Cat changes her look constantly with different hair colors and different outfits. She knows how to take a few bumps, and her own bumps are really fabulous. In real life, she's Jerry the King Lawler's girlfriend. I wonder what the King thought a couple weeks ago when she grinded Al Snow's face during SummerSlam. Good golly, Miss Molly.
My pick this week is Shay. Razz, you know who Shay is?
The Cuban goobly gods?
No. Freak?
Baseball stadium where the Mets play?
No. I had no idea who she was either. I was running out of pieces of ass, so I checked out the WCW website. She's a Nitro girl. She's 5'4", she has dark hair, brown eyes, and her birthplace is Seoul, Korea, which is a coincidence because my favorite food to eat is Seoul. So, Shay, I'm glad I found out who you are, and all I have to say is, me so horny, me rub you long time, me want sucky frocky. Freak.
Hey, this is a G-rated show. My piece of ass for this week is the queen of extreme ECW's Francine. Yeah, we all know she's hot. She's got a great body, beautiful knockers, but she's my piece of ass for this week because she's one tough chick. A month back... Hold on while I turn the page.
Page two.
She broke her nose in the ring in an accident. Did that stop her? Hell no. She was back in the ring mixing it up. Lo and behold, she re-broke her nose at the tag team tournament in New York City a couple of weeks ago. Baby, you are hot and tough. Francine, you can kick my ass any day of the week. And by the way, those panties I bought from you a few weeks ago, I was looking for a used pair, not a new one.
You three need some hookers bad. Hell, I'll even pay for it. Until next week, this is Candy, and you're in my corner.
Now, this week's Fresh Meat.
Hey, this is the American Pearl, guys. This song's called Free Your Mind. It's about the fine line between fear and hate. It's on Fresh Meat, Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Piledriver.
American Pearl hail from Hollywood, California. They're on Wind Up Records. Their debut CD is in stores now, and they get a big-ass kicking thumbs up from Piledriver. Now, more dirt with the king of beef jerkin.
The Speculum with Otis Brawl.
I'm back with more Taz Story of the Week. You know it's bad when Lowdown is blowing smoke up your pipes. Recently, D-Lo was seen walking around backstage with an orange towel over his head, while Chaz was telling anyone who would listen that he was adding a second Z to his name. And Bradshaw bandaged his leg and told everybody that it was injured when Taz farted on it. No wonder he's been acting out with JR. And I got no proof, but I bet you Bischoff turns up any day now, and it ain't going to be pretty, unless he found a new stylist. Expect an announcement that Ms. Hancock is indeed going to give birth to a little bundle of flair, but it won't be Hancock's fiancé David. No, Slick Ric Flair done it again. Pass it on. All right, keep the emails coming to obrawl@aol.com. No more funny pictures. You know who I'm talking to. Back next week with more rumors, dirt, and lies.
After next intermission, let's break some face as we head into the pit and take no prisoners.
I'd rather break some wind.
Hello, this is Mick Foley of the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Show.
Jabroni's Piledriver will be right back. We're back with more Piledriver.
It's Razz and flying onto the countdown faster than Freak with a roll of quarters on 42nd Street or a tables, ladders, and chairs oh my match. It's Fuel with a hemorrhage doing some serious damage.
Bone Crusher, number 2. Piledriver.
Fuel your number 2 bone crusher. It's time to talk trash. You've got 30 seconds to say what you want.
Let's get in the pit.
Kodiak?
Yep,
go.
I'm ready. Okay. Prime time, Felix Skipper. I have chunks of guys on my stool bigger than you. Mark Madden, keep gaining weight. Next to you, I look like primetime Felix Skipper, but without the tan. This just in, Andre the Giant, still dead. Hey, Jim Ross, want to know what the definition of a slobber knocker is? That's what they call your girly boobs, you slob. While we're speaking of Jim Ross, is it me, or does his face look like he's always smelling a bad fart?
You still got 5 seconds.
All right. Hey, Razz, just for you.
You, cat raspberry f***ing dickhead.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
I love him, freak!
Me too. Shane falling 75 feet at SummerSlam. Good God, that's serious TV. Chyna gets hotter every week. My palms can't wait for that Playboy. ECW Live is the best event there is. ECW TV is so bad, it's shocking. Go figure. The Rock is right. Kodiak, you are a hermaphrodite. And Razz, you do like to tickle a monkey's anus mentally and physically. The WCW is doing a back-to-school Hummer tour. Where do I sign up? And who's doing the humming? Latino Heat calls Chyna his mommy. I call my girlfriend that, and she bitch-slapped me. Do hookers know what a stinky face is? How much do they think they charge? Midgets equal ratings.
Freak.
Who the f*** are you?
Shut up!
Who is that guy?
Razz.
What the hell does green mist smell like? Bret Hart smacking Bill Goldberg with a shovel? That's comedy. Is X-Pac any relation to Tupac? Sign of the week. Chyna, get me a beer, bitch. Big Sexy, the new WCW champ? That's a bunch of bullshit. Kurt Angle definitely gave Stephanie some tongue. Boner moment, the cat bronco busting Terry. Man, that hurt my nads. Note to Chyna, don't let your stocking stick out of the top of your shorts. Looks disgusting. One question, did Road Dogg hump X-Pac? I feel like the Hardy Boys' ribs, the Dudley Boys' back edge, and Christian's heads. In other words, effed up. That's the pit for this week.
Remember, if you want to win a year's worth of WWF pay-per-views, call the Bite Back line at 1-877-792-SLAM and cut your own promo.
That's 1-877-792-SLAM. You've got 30 seconds to cut the best promo this side of the WWF. So get your candy ass on the phone, 1-877-792-SLAM, and start shooting. Just don't knock your eye out. 1-877-792-SLAM. All the instructions you need are on the line. Free WWF pay-per-views for a whole year. What other radio show gives you all the goods? Huh? Prizes courtesy of WWF's Unforgiven on pay-per-view September 24th. Call your local cable operator. Now, here's your new number one, Primus and Ozzy from the Nativity in Black 2 CD. Here's NIB.
Bone Crusher, number one. Crusher, number one.
Primus and Ozzy, your number one Bone Crusher. When we come back, we'll tell you who gets beat down next week.
I'm Al Snow and head of the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
We'll be back with more Piledriver. You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
That wraps up this week's The Game Triple H edition of Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. Next week, we get in the ring with one half of WWF's Kings of Suctitude, the man with no high-nosity, Edge. Right to Censor jackass Steven Richards gives us his hardcore tune-up. And yes, we play back the top 9 promos you jabronis cut, and we find out who gets a year of WWF pay-per-view for free. Freak, anything to add?
Just one thing, Razz.
What's that?
You, cat raspberry dickhead.
For all your daily updates on your favorite wrestling action in and out of the ring, check out scoopswrestling.com. If you want to contact us, check out our new, improved website at piledriverrocks.com and read my column. Join our email club, get cool prizes, and see Candy naked. No, that's not right. Candy's not naked, but everything else is true.
If you want the Kodiak Bear, you can email him at kodiakbear@kodiakbear.cc or call him at 973-743-0629. 973-743-0629.
This is the Kodiak Bear.
And this is Raspberry. Keep it in the ring. The executive producer of Piledriver is our Joshua Feigenbaum. I sound like I'm from Boston.
I did not talk.
Senior producer Phil Rado. Written and produced by Corey Natko. Engineered by Rafael Jimenez.
Park the car.
Production assistance by John Weber, Michael Azar, Diane Tonelli, Dwayne Crawford, Herb Perez, John Boyanello, Vinny Miko. Piledriver's exclusive presentation of the MJI Radio Network. Copyright 2000. All rights reserved. No portion may be used without the written permission of the producers. Oh, and thank you to our board operators from across the country, from coast to coast, including my friend Carmelita at WAAF in Boston.
Shout ahead, Hammond, park your car. Worcester, you jackasses.
Piledriver is not affiliated with the WWF, WCW, ECW, or any wrestling federation or publication. We're nobody's bitch.